Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel Salesforce AI Champions. Today I'll be going to discuss about how to use HTTP action in integration procedure OMNISTUDIO. And before get started, please do like, share, subscribe my YouTube channel. So I'll be creating one new integration procedure first by clicking on this new button, and I will provide the integration procedure name as HTTP action IP, and I am providing the type as like HTTP action IP, and I'll be clicking on save. And from the available components we can find this HTTP action. I will just drag it in our structure, and we can see different options like HTTP path. In HTTP path, basically we need to provide the endpoint API for the URL of the API, and in HTTP method, basically you need to provide like methods for the HTTP like get, post, put, delete, and if any named credential are configured in our org, that we can also specify the same. And in the rest option we can send out different headers if are there, and parameters as well, and we can send the body as well by clicking on this checkbox send body. And for this today's session I'll be using like some mock APIs from this site like dummy JSON. This site. So this dummy JSON site provides like different mock REST APIs like with placeholder JSON data for development, testing, and prototyping. So I'll be using this dummy JSON, and on clicking on this docs tab, and like there are different APIs are there, like I will be using these products. So products API will be basically uh, mm, basically we can retrieve different kind of get all the products. We can fetch single products as well. We can search product, and then we can find different categories for the product. Categories are there, category list. These are the endpoints are there, and we can add new product as well. Like we can utilize that HTTP method like post to create a new product as well. But first of all, to getting started with, I will just use this category list API. Let me copy this endpoint, and category list will be providing the output response like this one. Like there are different categories, product categories are there. So I'll be using this endpoint. So in the HTTP path is nothing but we need to provide this endpoint URL, and HTTP method we need to fetch the product details. So I'll be using this get method, and we are good. And we need to use this response section to see the output from this HTTP action. I'll be copying this HTTP action name and will provide the same in the additional output response. In the additional output, we can add a key value pair. Like we are getting the category list. Okay, so I'll be providing the output node as category list, and providing the HTTP action element name in the mark syntax. And I'll click on preview. So this is providing an unauthorized endpoint. So in the Salesforce, to means request any kind of this HTTP callouts, we need to authenticate the URL. So I am using like this dummy JSON endpoint. So I'll be taking this base, and I will be providing this URL as a authenticated URL in the remote site setting of the Salesforce. So in the quick find, I will be search for remote site settings under the security section, and I will be creating a new remote site setting. So providing the URL and site name as dummy JSON. I'm clicking on save, and let me execute it again. Yeah, we can see that this category list is showing. So this is how we can simply use HTTP action in integration procedure. In the next session, I'll be showing how to use the post method in the integration procedure in the HTTP action. So please stay tuned. Please do like, share, subscribe my YouTube channel. Thank you. Hello everyone. Welcome back to my YouTube channel Salesforce AI Champions. Today I'll be going to discuss about how to use the post method in HTTP action in integration procedure. So before get started, please do like, share, subscribe my YouTube channel. So in the last session I have shown how to use this get method in the HTTP action of integration procedure, and I have used this category list endpoint to fetch the category list details, and we are getting this output as the category list. And I will be showing today how to use a post method uh, in the HTTP action. So to show that, I will be just deactivating this element, and I will drag and drop a new HTTP action. We can clone this element by clicking on this icon as well, but I've just added a new HTTP action. So HTTP action post, I'll provide the name as, and I'll be using this URL, like this endpoint, to add a new product. So let me copy this URL, and basically this termination means in the while executing this post request, so this product details will not be added to the server directly, so it will just provide a mock response as the product got created, and it will provide like some sort of product ID. So this would be the response. So let me use the endpoint, and in the HTTP method we need to provide the HTTP method as post, and we have no headers, but we have one header, sorry, we have one headers content type we need to pass. So I'll be just adding this content type as application/session. So this is how we can add any headers, and we need to pass this title as a body, and this checkbox needs to be there, send body, and we are good to go. And I'm just adding this response section. In the response section, I can just copy this HTTP action element name and can put it into the send JSON path. And let me preview. And in the key value pair, I can pass this title, and like XYZ product. And let me execute. And we can see that this ID's product got created, and it's showing a dummy ID like 195. And since another in the additional output section, this is still there, that is why that category list was showing. Let me preview once again. So this was there in the additional output. So let me execute. Yeah, it's only showing this created product. So we are getting this response as it is, and this is how we can just use HTTP actions to create a new record in the external systems. So please stay tuned. I'll be adding more tutorials on these OmniStudio topics as well as Salesforce. So please do like, share, subscribe my YouTube channel. Thank you. Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel Salesforce AI Champions. Today I'll be going to discuss about how to use this named credential in integration procedure. So before get started, please do like, share, subscribe my YouTube channel. So in the last session, I have shown how to use this HTTP action, and with this HTTP action, we can call out to the external systems. REST callouts we can perform like get, post, put, and delete. Those HTTP methods we can use. And I have used, like in the HTTP path, I have used that directly use that API endpoint to get the category list of the products. But today I'll be using this name credential. So name credential is nothing but we can make authenticated calls to the external system with this name credential. So that needs to be configured. So I'll be configured that first, and we'll use that name credential in this HTTP action. So in the home, in the quick find, we can search for name credential, and under security section we can find that. And if I click on new, and we can see that this external credential is uh, a required field, so we need to fill up this external credential first. So we need to create that external credential first before the creation of the name credential. So I'm clicking on new, and I'll provide the name like external external cred for dummy JSON. There should not be any space or any, so we can name it like this. And authenticated protocol, that is a free API, so there should not be any authentication. So I'll be selecting just a custom and I'll be clicking on save. So with this help of this external credential, we can we can we can hide the different kind of headers in directly without directly using them in that name credential. And that these are all the optional things are there on uh, on this external credential configuration. So in this related name credential, whenever this external credential is added to a name credential, so that name credential name will be appearing here. But one thing, we must need to configure these principals. So with the help of principals, we can add this principal in profiles or permission set. So that with this help of these principals, so it's same like that custom permissions. And we need to create this principal, so that using the name of the principal, we can associate this external credential to a specific user, so that we can make call out with that user. So I'll be providing the name like principal for dummy JSON external cred, and identity type like name principal. And if there are any parameters are there like client ID, client secret, we can mention that here. But since that is a free mock API, so we no, do not need to add any steps like that. I'll be clicking on save. So our external credential got created. Now I'll be creating this name credential, so clicking on new. So there is also a legacy option is there, but I'll be using the most latest name credential. So I'll be naming it like name cred for dummy JSON. And for this name as well, there should not be any spaces. We can use underscore as well. And in the URL, let me provide this base URL of this dummy JSON. So I'll be providing this URL, and it should be enabled for callouts, and we need to provide this external credential, and this checkbox needs to be checked. And in the namespace, I'll be showing that after later. So we need to provide the proper namespace access in order to uh, access the name credential in that integration procedure. So as of now, I'm just clicking on save, and we need to set up the profile. One permission needs to be given. So I'm going to the profile, and my user is system admin. So in the system admin, there is an option like external credential principal access. We need to click on it. And we can see that this external credential principal, that principal we created in that while creation of the external credential. So that principal that access needs to be enabled. So I'll be just adding that principal. So I'll clicking on save. So this is the principal that access we have provided. Now we can use that name credential in our IP. Name credential. So this is the name credential name. I'll be copying it and I'll be pasting it here. And another important key point is there, whenever we are creating a name credential, we do not need any remote site setting, since uh, with the help of the name credential we are already authenticated the site, so there will be no issues. And let me update this one. and I'll be providing the, so in the name credential we have provided that base URL. So after the base URL I just provide this, so we need this part only, product slash category list. So, and let me preview. So we can see that the callout could not access this endpoint. You might not have the required permission of the name credential. So this permission related stuff is showing. So one thing we need to update is like in this name credential, there is a option like allowed namespace. Since we are using velocity insurance, so the namespace for the velocity insurance is like velocity underscore ins. So this namespace package access needs to be provided. And and if there is that OMNISTUDIO managed package, then we need to specify the same. Instead of this velocity ins, we need to provide the namespace for the OMNISTUDIO. And let me preview it again. Now we can see that after execution we can finally get the category list. So this is how we can simply use a name credential in integration procedure. So please stay tuned. Please do like, share, subscribe.